Ever wondered how the human ear develops from a simple group of cells into a complex organ responsible for hearing and balance? Today, we're breaking down the embryology of the ear in a clear and structured way. The ear develops from three distinct embryological components, each forming a major functional division. First, the inner ear, responsible for hearing and balance, develops from the ectodermal otic placode. Second, the middle ear, which includes the ossicles and tympanic cavity, develops from the first and second pharyngeal arches and pouch. Third, the external ear, consisting of the auricle and external auditory canal, develops from the first pharyngeal cleft and arches. Development begins in week 3 and continues into the postnatal period. Around week 3, thickening of surface ectoderm adjacent to the hindbrain forms the otic placode. The otic placode invaginates to form the otic pit, which then pinches off to form the otic vesicle, also known as the otisis. The otic vesicle divides into two major regions: the dorsal or utricular portion, which gives rise to the utricle, semicircular canals, and endolymphatic duct, and the ventral or saccular portion, which gives rise to the saccule and cochlear duct. Around week 6, the ventral saccular portion elongates to form the cochlear duct. It coils 2.5 turns by week 8. The cochlear duct is surrounded by mesenchyme that differentiates into the bony labyrinth and the organ of Corti, which arises from the epithelial lining of the cochlear duct. For the development of the semicircular canals, 3 outpocketings arise from the utricular portion. Selective resorption creates 3 semicircular ducts. The ampullae form at the ends, containing the cristae ampullaris for balance. The middle ear rises from pharyngeal arches and pouches. The first pharyngeal arch gives rise to the malleus and incus. The second pharyngeal arch gives rise to the stapes. The first pharyngeal pouch gives rise to the tubotympanic recess, which develops into the tympanic cavity and the auditory, or eustachian, tube. The ossicles begin as cartilaginous precursors. They ossify late in fetal life but remain small after birth. Initially, they are embedded in mesenchyme and only later become suspended in the tympanic cavity. The malleus and incus are derived from cartilage of the first pharyngeal arch, while the stapes is derived from that of the second arch. The tympanic membrane forms from 3 layers: the ectoderm from the first pharyngeal cleft, the mesoderm, which is an intervening tissue, and the endoderm from the first pharyngeal pouch. The tympanic cavity expands as the fetus grows, and mesenchyme within the cavity is resorbed to create an air-filled space. The external ear forms from the first pharyngeal cleft, which gives rise to the external auditory canal. Auricular hillocks develop from 6 mesenchymal swellings on the first and second arches. 3 hillocks from the first arch and 3 from the second arch fuse to form the auricle, also known as the pinna. Initially located low on the neck, the auricles ascend to their final position as the mandible grows. The external auditory canal is formed by the first pharyngeal cleft. A temporary epithelial plug forms and later canalizes. Some common congenital anomalies include preauricular tags or pits due to abnormal hillock fusion. Microtia, which is a small auricle and may be associated with first arch syndromes. Atresia of the external auditory canal due to failure of canalization. Congenital cholesteatoma caused by epithelial remnants in the middle ear. Otosclerosis, which involves abnormal bone deposition around the stapes footplate. And congenital hearing loss. In summary, the ear develops from a coordinated interaction of ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. The inner ear arises from the otic placode, the middle ear from pharyngeal arches and pouches, and the external ear from the first cleft and auricular hillocks. Disruptions in these processes can lead to a range of congenital anomalies affecting hearing and balance.
If you found this helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.